Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I really wasn't planning on filming this now, but you know, I figured why not? I've got Jackson over here on the bed. He's just hanging out, and Riley is over here drinking my water. But I've been meaning to film Jackson's 6-month update, and we're leaving Virginia again in like a couple days to North Carolina to go spend the week with my parents. So I figured why not just go ahead and talk to you guys a little bit about this little dude. He has gotten so strong, you guys. He is like about to start crawling. He does like the little backward scoot, like he'll get in that position there and then he'll kind of scoot backwards and turn himself all the way around. So I feel like he's gonna be on the move any day now. Look at that guy. I get so many questions all the time about how we got Jackson to enjoy tummy time, because for a really long time he didn't like it. Like I would put him on his tummy and he would scream and he just didn't enjoy it. And I know that a lot of you guys have little ones that don't like tummy time. So all I can tell you is just to keep at it. I've told you before that when, okay, he's eating these wipes. I've told you before that when he was having a hard time just being on his mat, I would bring him here to my bed and I would do tummy time, and I feel like he liked it better just because it's like really soft and cushiony here. So that's something that you might want to try. So let's talk about sleep really quick, because that's something that I always talk about here on my channel and on Instagram. I'm always talking about how my little child does not sleep. Back there we have actually the pack and play. This is where I've been putting him down for the last few weeks because he started to get too big for the snoo. So he's been sleeping in a pack and play. I have like a little lovey of his, and I've just made sure to put this in the pack and play with him every time he goes down for a nap and at nighttime, just so that he can like associate sleep with this little guy. But we're still having issues with sleep, because the reason we put him in the pack and play was because he got too big for the snoo, and we also had him in the Merlin suit before, and he had been doing okay with the Merlin suit. I feel like that used to get him to just be a little bit more comfortable with his sleeping, both for naps and for nighttime sleep. But he got to the point where he started flipping over this month. He started flipping over from his back onto his stomach, and when they start doing that, they're not supposed to use a Merlin suit anymore. So I got a little scared about him being in that, so we decided to just take that off completely, and that was just a total failure, because now he flips, or sometimes he just doesn't really know what to do, and he's been crying a little bit more than usual, I would say, with his sleeping, and that's been giving me a lot of anxiety. He literally does not stop reaching for things. I'm gonna have to totally baby proof everything, because Riley would never really put stuff in her mouth, but this guy wants to put everything in his mouth, so that's gonna be a problem. So he's still doing about 3 naps a day. The naps are not really any longer than like 35 to maybe 40 minutes at this point. That's kind of where we're at for naps. I've been doing the same thing that I've been doing for the last like month or so now with naps, which is just that I turn off all the lights, put on his sound machine, rock him a little bit, like just kind of hold him, like I'll sing him a little song or something just so that he kind of winds down with that, and then I put him in the pack and play now, and I leave the room and I watch him in the monitor. He starts crying, and usually there's a bit of that, but at this point, usually like after less than 10 minutes or so, he'll put himself to sleep. So I usually don't have to listen to more than like 10 minutes of crying, but those 10 minutes are still brutal. Even though I've been doing this now for a little while, the hearing him cry when I put him down, now that I'm not rocking him to sleep, it's a little rough. His schedule is pretty much the same though. I'm trying to wake him up around 8, and then from there he usually lasts about 2 hours before his first morning nap, and then usually about every 2 to 2.5 hours after that he's taking a nap, because he doesn't last too long. He gets really sleepy and cranky, and I know that it's time for him to take a nap. His nighttime sleep is still pretty bad. Like I can't report any significant positive changes. Like it's just still pretty rough. I've still been trying to put him down for bed like around 7:30 or 8. We'll do his bedtime routine, put him down by that point. At nighttime I will nurse him, and then that kind of gets him drowsy, kind of sleepy, and then I put him in the pack and play, and then he goes to sleep. But once he's down in his pack and play, every night is different, and that's something that just drives me absolutely insane, because there will be some nights where he'll sleep like maybe 3 hours straight before waking up. Other nights he wakes up after an hour and a half. On a very rare occasion, he's slept maybe like 4 hours and then woken up, but usually after a couple of hours this guy's awake. I wouldn't mind so much that he wakes up, but the problem is that he doesn't know how to go back to sleep unless I nurse him. So I'm not gonna stress too much about it because once we get back home from vacation, we are gonna start the sleep training process once his nursery is all set up. I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek of his nursery once I get done with the update. It is what it is. This entire month, anytime that he would wake up, I would have to wake up myself, bring him into the bed with me, nurse him, and then sometimes I would fall asleep with him in the bed with me for a few hours. Other times I would just nurse him and then put him right back into the pack and play, and he would stay for an hour or two. And then we'd repeat the process multiple times throughout the night. Positives though about his sleep is that now that I'm not like rocking him to sleep, I can put him down there. He cries for a little bit, but then he will go to sleep for a little while, and that has given Joe and I like our nights back, because there was a time, you know, a few months ago where I would basically nurse him to sleep and I would kind of have to stay in the bed with him because he was still in the bed with us and he wasn't really staying any long periods of time in the pack and play or in the snoo, wherever it was that he was sleeping. So at least there's that. At least I get a couple of hours at night where, you know, Joe and I can watch a show, we can kind of relax, and at the very least he's learned how to put himself to sleep. That's still a skill that I'm really happy that he knows how to do now, and I'm really hopeful that once we transition him to his room, like having his own space and having a mattress to sleep on that's really comfortable, I'm really hoping that that'll get him to sleep some longer stretches, because that's all I need. Like, I would just really enjoy maybe 4 or 5 hours at a time of sleep. That'd be great. So that's how this little dude is doing in terms of sleep. So now let's talk about Jackson's eating. Jackson has taken really well to the solid foods that we've been giving him. I'm really happy about how he's done with that. We started off giving him baby rice cereal, and then we transitioned him to oatmeal cereal. So now every morning he gets oatmeal cereal, like with his breakfast, like that's his breakfast, oatmeal cereal. I nursed him before that. So backtrack a little bit. I am still nursing him. Jackson is not having any formula yet, even though I'm pretty sure that sometime in the next month or so we're gonna transition to formula, since I'm sure that my milk supply will be dropping with him sleeping in his own room and all of that. But for now, he is being nursed. So as soon as he wakes up at around 8, I nurse him in bed, and then we go downstairs, and between Riley having her breakfast and all of that, sometime before his first nap, I'll give him his oatmeal cereal. So that's his breakfast. And then after breakfast, the only other time that I was giving Jackson solids was at dinner time, where I would give him some puree. I've been giving him just like an ounce of some kind of veggie and an ounce of some kind of fruit. So that's really all he's been getting in terms of solids. And then in between that time, I was nursing him every 3 hours or so. Sometimes he wouldn't quite last a full 3 hours. Sometimes he'd be showing hunger signs and trying to like have his face all over my boobs like within 2.5 hours. But somewhere around there, I was nursing him, and that seemed to be working out for us. I am gonna pull up his stats because he did have a doctor's appointment at 6 months. And at 6 months, he was weighing 15 pounds, 3.6 ounces, and he was measuring 26.25 inches long. So he really didn't gain a lot from 5 months to 6 months. Like, I think he only gained like 3.6 ounces. But the doctor assured me that he was like on his little growth curve. She didn't have like any real concerns about him growing. She did say that he's a little bit like longer percentile wise than he is like wide, but that's okay. Like I always tell you guys, as long as the doctor is not concerned, I'm not concerned. So if the doctor's telling me he's growing fine, he's weighing fine, then I don't ever start to question my milk supply or, oh my god, I need to feed him more. Like, as long as he's doing all right at the doctor's office, then I'm a happy camper. What we will be doing differently though this month is we are gonna be extending the nursing sessions, like the distance between nursing sessions. The doctor told me that instead of every 3 hours, I should be going now every 4 hours. So kind of making him wait a little longer for his milk. Then I am gonna start reading up on baby-led weaning. So I bought a few books that I will link down in the description box. I shared them already with you guys on Instagram, but I bought a few books to kind of guide me in the right direction when it comes to baby-led weaning, because that is something that we're doing differently with Jackson than we did with Riley. With Riley, we gave her straight up purees, like for the longest time. I was terrified that she would choke and stuff like that, but she's a terrible eater. So I decided maybe we need to do something differently. So I'm hoping that those books will at least help prepare me, because I don't want to just start doing random stuff and not really knowing what I'm doing. I want to do it correctly. So far from what I've seen, they have some good recipes, and they kind of talk about like all the different ways that you should cut up the food and all of that. And the doctor had good things to say about that. So I'm excited to start trying that with him this month. Joe took the kids to Riley's room, by the way. So that's why it's finally quiet. I'm not moving around all over the place. But that's sleeping and that's eating. Those are usually like the two biggest issues that I have in my life. This month though has been super fun. We hit those milestones where he's flipping over from his back onto his stomach, and he actually loves being on his stomach. Like, he doesn't like it when he flips over in his pack and play, like when he's sleeping, because he doesn't really know what to do. Like, he doesn't know how to put himself back to sleep all the time. Sometimes he will though. Sometimes he will put himself back to sleep on his tummy, but he's not an every time tummy sleeper. I think he's a side sleeper. I think that's how he prefers to sleep. But during the day when he's hanging out on his playmat and stuff, he actually likes to be on his tummy. He flips over that way more than he does from his tummy onto his back, which I think is weird because I thought that it was reversed. I thought like babies usually do the other way first before they do what he does now. Kind of gets scared when he's on his belly and he topples over. So I don't know what's up with that. But this month I really just had so much fun with him, and he's just developing the funniest little personality. He's laughing, he's smiling a ton. Like, he has like full-blown like giggle sessions with me, which I think is the cutest thing. You guys always ask me like what toys he's into and like toys that I recommend, so I will link down below my 6-month baby essentials video that I filmed not too long ago. I literally shared like all of the things that we use for Jackson on a daily basis, from his bouncer to the high chair that we had at my mom's house, like all of the things that we would use, and I did include his toys. So all of his favorite toys that he's been using non-stop lately, I linked them in that video and I kind of showed them. So again, check out that video after you finish this one. I think that might help. The other thing we did this month is we put him in the pool, and I have so many cute little like clips of him in the pool. He loves it. We got him the cutest little float that he kind of like lays on his belly in, and he loves it, and he kicks and he splashes, and that was really fun seeing him in the pool at my mom's house. So that was something nice to see, you know, that he enjoyed being in the water. Riley also loves being in the water, so I have 2 little water babies. And then going back to the bouncer, that is something that we put him in this month. So now that he has a little bit more strength in his head and his upper body, we started putting him in the bouncer, and he loves to spend time there. Like the entire morning this morning he was in the little bouncer, and Riley loves it because she gets to like play with him more, and like he loves to watch her. He has like a better view of like where she's going, so he really likes to spend time in the bouncer. Something that the doctor did say was that we can start trying to get him to sit. Like if I'm sitting down somewhere, I'll put him in between my legs and I kind of just work on positioning him so that he starts to, you know, get the hang of sitting up. But that's really it. It's been a great month. This entire month we spent at my parents' house, so it was great to be able to see my parents interacting with him, and my parents got to see him just, I don't know, like just in a month they got to see him develop so much, and to see like how far he progressed in that month was insane. Like the backwards crawling or scooting or whatever you want to call it, like going from being just like there on your playmat, like not really moving, like he was just like a little slug there, like to now moving all around. It's insane how much they change in so little time. I am going to mention this when I film my 6-month postpartum video, which should be out soon, as soon as I can film it. But I've been getting a lot of questions about how long I'm going to be nursing Jackson. So with Riley, I nursed her until she was about a year old. I didn't exclusively nurse her. What I did was, as soon as we sleep trained her at 6 months, I started kind of weaning her. She kind of weaned herself just because she wasn't eating at all through the night. But I would still nurse her first thing in the morning and then right before bed. In between that, I would give her formula, and that was a good compromise for the both of us. Like I still liked that bond of nursing, and I was like an emotional mess when I stopped nursing her at a year old. So I'm not ready to completely cut that out, but I do see myself like nursing until a year, maybe morning and night. If I can get there, like that'd be great. If it ends up being shorter than that, then that's fine, but I'm not ready just yet to stop nursing completely. So we'll do a combo. I'll nurse him, like I said, 2 times a day, and then everything else will be formula. I'm okay with that. I've always been open to combination feeding, and really like the nursing that I'm gonna do with him probably is just gonna be more for comfort than actual like feeding him, but in my mind it makes me feel better. Now on Instagram the other day I asked you for some questions, and I know that I'm gonna miss a million of them, but let me try to pull up some of them and then I can answer maybe a few of your questions. So somebody asked, what is the difference between Riley and Jackson's development milestones? I'd have to go back and see like exactly, like I don't want to just like talk without really like giving you specifics. But the one thing that I will say is that it does appear that he is a lot more mobile than Riley was. Riley didn't walk until I think she was like 15 months old. Like I don't even think she was walking at a year old. So she was always slower when it came to stuff like that, but verbally she was always very advanced. So I have a feeling that Jackson may be the other way around. Definitely he surprised me with how like strong he is, with him pushing himself up off of, you know, the floor and off of the bed, like you guys saw at the beginning of this video, just moving around everywhere. I feel like he is definitely a little bit more advanced in that sense than Riley was. Did Jackson start to bite your nipple when nursing? How to make your baby understand that biting is a no? Freaking yes, he has absolutely started to bite me, and he just has little gums. He doesn't have any teeth yet, but he has started to just bite my nipple, and it is not fun at all. And I just scream in pain. Like, I'm just like, sometimes I've actually let out a scream and then I feel bad because I scare him. But yeah, he's doing that, so that's why I know that the nursing is probably gonna, you know, get cut to very minimal. How long does Jackson now take to fall asleep? Does he still cry to sleep? So like I mentioned, yes, he's still crying to sleep, but it depends like how long. Like there are some times when within like maybe 2 or 5 minutes he's asleep. Like every time I put him down, he will cry the minute that I leave the room. Like there's an initial like, why the heck are you putting me down here? And he will cry. But sometimes, like as soon as I get downstairs and turn on the monitor, he's already not crying anymore, and he just kind of fiddles with the lovey and then he's asleep. There are other times though where he's really pissed off and doesn't want to sleep for whatever reason, and then he can cry maybe 10, sometimes 15 minutes, and that's when I'm really like, oh my god, like that's too much. But for the most part, he's done a lot better with that than once upon a time ago when it was just really bad. A lot of questions still come in every day about Jackson's reflux, and I want to let you guys know that Jackson doesn't really have reflux anymore. His colic or that fussiness that he used to have is pretty much gone. He is fussy for other things, for other reasons. He's bored, or he doesn't want to be where I placed him, or he's hungry or whatever, but he's not just being fussy because he has gas pains or anything like that. But as far as what helped him get over it, I don't know. Like, I literally do not know. I really think that it was just time. I think it took him several months just for his body to mature and for his little intestines to develop. That's something that the doctor told me a lot when I was struggling and I'd go in desperate asking for help. We tried 2 different kinds of medications for Jackson. I didn't really see a significant difference in his demeanor with those medicines. And then we tried the whole like me going dairy free. Still really didn't see a big difference. We did try implementing a probiotic, which I still use just kind of as a, you know, prevention kind of thing. Like now I just feel like I give him a probiotic, and that's part of his morning routine. I give him probiotic and I give him his vitamin, and those are 2 things that I continue to give him. But I feel your pain. It's really rough when they're just gassy and fussy. If there's any hope that I can give you is that eventually it does get better. Obviously some babies need medicine. Obviously there's some babies that have it worse than others, but at least for Jackson, he seemed to kind of get over that with time. Is Jackson sitting up by himself? Not by himself, but we are working on that. So did you help him practice rolling back to belly, or did he do it on his own? I feel like most of it he did on his own, mostly because of the fact that like he'd have his toys on his playmat and he was really freaking nosy and just like wanted to see where they were, like he wanted to reach them. So by himself, he kind of like would put himself in these positions, like arching his back and stuff, so that he could reach his toys. And that's where he started to really do like the flipping motion. When he was like really close and I could tell that he was almost there, then yes, I would start practicing with him and I would just help him flip, just so that he could see that, you know, it was possible to do that. But then within like a week or 2 weeks or so, he started doing it on his own. Has his poop changed since starting solids? Yes, his poop has changed for the better, honestly, because before, when he was just having breast milk, it was very like liquidy and just kind of really gross. And now his poop is more of like Play-Doh consistency. That's what I see his poop as. It's like a little formed Play-Doh. It's easy to clean, thank the Lord. So right now that's what his poop is looking like. I'm sure that as I start giving him more of like real foods, maybe it'll change again. But definitely if you're gonna start introducing some kind of solids, whether it's regular food or purees or whatever, just know that the poop may look different. Can you talk about the 6-month vaccines? How did he cope with them? Which ones did he get? I don't have the paper on me, but yes, at the 6-month visit, he got his 3rd round of vaccines. So one of them was oral. It was like a little thing that they put in their mouth. It's like a liquid that they have him drink. So that one may be polio. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. And that one he's always done really well with. He just drinks it up. The nurse that administers it just kind of gives it to him really slowly. So he's always done great with that one. And then he had 2 different pricks. He had one on one leg, one on the other leg, on his little thigh. He screams honestly for like a second. He screams for a second, the initial pinch hurts him, and then that's it. And then I hold him and I nurse him just so that he can feel a little better. But he's never really had any significant issue with his vaccines, thank the Lord. The doctor always tells me, hey, if he gets super fussy, you can give him Tylenol, and here's the dosage of Tylenol and all that. But luckily, we haven't really had to use it too much. I think this time around, I gave him Tylenol like one day, maybe. Honestly, I have such a bad memory. And maybe he was fussy for like one day, but nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that made me super concerned or anything like that. Do you give Jackson water after he eats solids? So that is something that I forgot to tell you, that yes, we have started introducing water into Jackson's diet. I bought him a little sippy cup that has like a regular bottle nipple, and then it has a transitional like sippy cup nipple. So I've been giving him the water with like the regular bottle nipple, but I think this month I'm gonna go ahead and switch it to the little sippy cup one. And he likes it. He just kind of chugs it. I can't really like leave him alone with it, but he will drink some water. So that is something that the doctor had said, that once we start introducing solids, just to offer him a little bit of water. Not like he has to drink a ton of it, but just something, you know, to kind of help the food go down, I guess. Does he have his first tooth yet? He still doesn't have a tooth. I keep saying like it's there. I'm sure it's gonna be there any day now, but he still doesn't have a tooth. So we're just waiting for it. Will you prepare purees for Jackson, or are you planning on using the store-bought puree? So that's a good question. I have so far been giving him just store-bought like organic purees whenever I can find the organic, if not just like the regular Gerber purees. Once we finally get back home after all of the traveling and all of the craziness that's been going on, I am hoping to maybe have a little bit more time to prepare some more like at-home meals for him. I do have the baby food bullet that I got as a gift with Riley, and I hardly ever used it with Riley because I just used the store-bought purees with her. But this time around, I would love to learn a little bit more about making my own foods at home. So anything that I find helpful, I will definitely share with you guys in vlogs and in videos. So stay tuned for that. Wish me luck, because that is something that I would like to try to implement for Jackson. He's still in a size 2 diaper, somebody was asking. And as far as clothes size, he's now in like 6 to 9 months. Most of the stuff that's in his closet now is 6 to 9 months. I just went through his drawers, and it's so hard because I always want to hold on. Like, I'm so stupid. Like, I want to hold on to like the 3 to 6 month stuff, because I'm like, oh, it kind of still fits him, or like, I don't know, maybe I'm cheap and I don't want to buy him other clothes. Like, I don't know what, but I always keep like a size down from what he actually wears still in his closet and in his drawers. But what fits him the best is 6 to 9 months. So I think that's gonna be it. If I missed a question that you had, you can always leave it down below in the comments. And usually after I film these and I post them, I'll go over on Instagram and say, hey, if I missed something, ask me away, and I'll do like a little Q&A there. But I'm gonna take you guys to his nursery so you guys can see the progress we've made. So Riley's room is over there, which is where they are right now. I'm gonna go see them in a second. But this is gonna be Jackson's nursery, and all of this still has to be put away, and none of this is staying in here, I don't think. This is like the changing table that we had for him, and we bought him a new dresser, so the new dresser is gonna be here. So a lot of cleaning and decluttering that I have to do, but this is his crib. We just put it together last night. Ordered it on Amazon. I'll link it for you guys because everybody's been asking me where I got it. It took about like an hour to put together, and Joe just put it together last night with his tools. And then this is his comforter over here. I've already told you that his theme is gonna be Star Wars. So this is his cute little comforter. Again, I will link this because I got a bunch of questions on Instagram about it. And then this is the Newton Baby mattress. I'm working with them on a collab. They sent me the mattress, so I'm gonna do another video later down the road where I talk about it, but that's the mattress that he's gonna be sleeping on. So yeah, we still have a lot to do, but you know, we're working on it. We're making some steps. Like, this was a freaking storage unit for the longest time, and at least now there's a crib in there. Hello.
Mama, I'm going down.
Hi, Dada. You're going where? No, I didn't say that you could go in there. That's Jackson's room.
No.
Yes. Is he behaving?
He's just getting a little bored.
A little bored? Are you reading tiny books to him? Or he's eating the tiny books? These are like the little baby Einstein books that Riley used to always love.
She still loves them.
She still loves them? So he's been hanging out with Dada here while I finish this video. Thank you, Dada. But that's how little man is doing. Isn't he fun?
He is.
He's got into like a super fun stage.
He's playful. He laughs.
Yeah. He makes a mess,
Yep.
gets into everything, puts everything in his mouth. Oh,
Nope.
it's gonna be just like his sister.
There it is.
There it is. All right, we gotta go. All right, so that's gonna be it because you guys hear him screaming in the background. I think it's time for his nap, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this 6-month baby update. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.